Intro music fades out. So you're looking at the Wahl Elite Pro, the high-performance haircutting kit that promises professional power and precision for your home grooming. But before you spend your hard-earned money, you need to know the real problems and honest surprises behind this popular clipper. I bought it, tested it, and here's what you won't hear in the glossy ads. Therefore, if you want the truth about the Wahl Elite Pro, you're in the right place. For the best price on Amazon, click the link in the description. Let's dive in. The Wahl Elite Pro boasts a motor with 15% more power than Wahl's own premium line, promising no-snag cutting and blades that cut hair 40% faster. That sounds like a barber's dream in your bathroom, right? But here's what surprised me. This incredible power comes with an incredibly loud, buzzing hum that could make you think you're starting a small lawnmower instead of trimming your sideburns. It's a trade-off you need to consider. Therefore, let's unpack the promises versus the practical problems. First, the build and feel. The kit comes with a sturdy clipper, various guide combs, and accessories. It feels professional and durable in hand, like a tool meant for work. But opening the box, I noticed something odd. A note about possible leftover testing particles from factory checks. It's not hair, but it's a reminder this isn't a sterile medical device. Therefore, your first step might be wiping it down. Now, the performance. The motor is indeed powerful. It chews through thicker hair without bogging down, and the self-sharpening blades are crisp. But remember that 10,000 cycles per minute. It translates to a very strong audible hum, as the manual itself admits is normal. It's so loud that using it early in the morning might wake up your entire household, turning a quick trim into a family alarm clock. Therefore, power has a literal cost in decibels. Another advertised feature is the precision blade system designed to stay sharper longer. In testing, they performed well, providing clean lines. But here's the critical problem many users miss. The manual sternly warns that if the blades are not oiled, they may not move at all. And even if they do move without oil, you're risking damage and reduced performance. This isn't a clipper you can forget to maintain. It demands regular care like a high-performance engine. Therefore, convenience is compromised by necessity. Let's talk about the included guide combs and the overall kit value. You get a range of stainless steel attachments for different lengths, which is great for versatility. But the attachment clips are straightforward, and the combs themselves are basic. You're not getting innovative or magnetic systems here. It's functional but not fancy. Therefore, the value is in the core clipper, not the bells and whistles. Now, a major red flag hidden in the product description, a note stating, "This clipper is made to be only used in the USA. If used outside the USA, voltages are different and can affect performance and may damage the product." This is a huge limitation for international viewers or travelers. It's not a global tool. It's a domestic appliance with a strict passport control. But why would a company limit its own products' use so drastically? Therefore, if you're not in the United States, this clipper might be a very risky purchase. Speaking of quirks, the manual mentions a power screw adjustment for peak efficiency. It's preset at the factory, but if your home voltage is low, you might need to readjust it yourself using a coin or screwdriver. This is a level of tinkering most consumers don't expect from a haircutting tool. It feels like you're tuning a carburetor, not prepping for a haircut. But it's part of the high-performance claim, I suppose. Therefore, be ready for potential DIY mechanical adjustments. Insert joke 1. Using this clipper is so loud, my dog now thinks I'm the barber for squirrels and brings me acorns as payment. Let's examine the top reviews from actual buyers to see common problems. Many praise the power and clean cuts, aligning with the 4.5-star average rating. But several reviews highlight consistent issues. The loud noise is frequently mentioned as a downside. Others note that the clipper can be temperamental if not perfectly maintained, with blades sticking if oiling is neglected. A few even mention the initial setup being confusing with the power screw. Therefore, the positive rating comes with consistent caveats. Is it worth the $69.99 price tag? Compared to cheaper Wahl models or competitors, the Elite Pro sits in a mid to high price range for home clippers. The power and durability justify the cost for someone who needs frequent, heavy-duty cutting. But for occasional trims or someone sensitive to noise, the value drops significantly. You're paying for performance you might not fully need and dealing with problems you might not want. Therefore, assess your actual grooming needs versus this tool's intense personality. Insert joke 2. This clipper's manual has more warnings than a haunted house ride. Do not use outside USA, oil blades, adjust power screw, beware of loud hum. I felt like I was signing a waiver for a haircut. Maintenance is a recurring theme. The requirement to oil blades after each use is strict. Forgetting could lead to the blades not moving, turning your powerful clipper into a silent, useless brick. This adds a step to your routine that simpler clippers don't demand. But proper maintenance ensures longevity and performance, so it's a disciplined trade-off. Therefore, you must commit to being a part-time clipper mechanic. The testing particles note is innocuous but psychologically interesting. It reminds you this is a mass-produced tool tested with fiber, not a pristine luxury item. It's a small, honest disclaimer that sets a tone, but it doesn't affect function, just first impression. Therefore, wipe it down and move on. Now, the voltage restriction is a deal-breaker for many. In today's global market, a product that only works in one country's electrical system feels archaic. It suggests internal components aren't adaptable, limiting its robustness. But if you're firmly in the US, it's a non-issue. Therefore, check your location before clicking buy. The power screw adjustment is a unique feature. The process, turning it clockwise until it strikes and makes a noise, then backing off counterclockwise until the noise stops, is specific. It's for maximizing performance in low-voltage situations. But most users will never touch it, and if they do, it might cause anxiety. Therefore, it's a feature for edge cases, not everyday use. Insert joke 3. Adjusting the power screw felt like performing delicate surgery. I was so nervous I gave myself a haircut that looked like a topographic map of anxiety. Let's summarize the core problems. The significant operational noise, the mandatory blade oiling after each use, the US-only voltage restriction, and the potential for needing mechanical adjustment. These are real considerations that go beyond typical clipper quirks. But on the flip side, the cutting power is undeniable, the blades are precise, and the kit is durable for long-term use. Therefore, your decision hinges on tolerating the downsides for the upside. For professional barbers or home users who cut hair frequently and value raw power over quiet operation, the Wahl Elite Pro could be a worthy tool. It's built for work, but for the average person wanting a quiet, easy, maintenance-like clipper for occasional use, this might be overkill and a headache. Therefore, know your user profile. Insert joke 4. After using the Wahl Elite Pro, my neighbors asked if I was building a tiny helicopter in my bathroom. I said no, just trying to look presentable for our meeting. So, should you buy the Wahl Elite Pro? If you're in the US, you need powerful cutting for thick or frequent hair, you're committed to regular oiling, and you can tolerate the loud hum, then yes, it delivers on its high-performance promise. But if any of those conditions don't match your situation, you're outside the US, you hate loud gadgets, or you want low-maintenance convenience, then this clipper's problems will outweigh its benefits. Therefore, choose wisely based on your reality, not just its marketing. Ultimately, the Wahl Elite Pro is a specialist tool with specialist demands. It's not the easy, universal grooming solution some might hope for, but it does what it says, with caveats shouted loudly, both in its manual and its actual operation. Therefore, consider this honest review your guide to making an informed choice. For the best price on Amazon, click the link in the description. Thanks for watching.